Okay, so we have Riaan Knoetze here from Tiny Giant Studios. And over to Riaan.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, getting some feedback. Guys in the back, good morning. Come on, let's get some interaction. Nobody wants to greet me. Right. Guys, I've got a bit of a confession to make, two in fact. First off, this is my first WordCamp ever. I've read a lot about it, I've seen some videos, that sort of stuff, but it's quite nervous. It's my first WordCamp, and then that follows into my second confession, and that is that I've got absolutely no formal education in web design and development. So I need to kick that out and put it on the table. That being said, I realize that you guys don't know me, you don't know where I'm coming from, why I've got this ridiculous accent, and I thought, let me give you a brief background. As I said, no formal web design education. I studied psychology. I did my honors in that. I got bored. I did paramedics for a while. I did photography for a while. From there, I went on to study languages, French, German, Mandarin, that sort of thing. From there, I got bored again, so I went on to the stock exchange, and I was a futures trader for a while. And then from there, I went into recruitment. 2008, I got made redundant. Down in the dumps, stuck in a foreign country, England. I'm sorry if there's any English guys around. And yeah, got made redundant, 2008, financial crisis, and I said, man, I need to do something. And I said, oh, how hard can it be? Let me start a web design development company with absolutely no experience. With that background, I need to just tell you what I'm not. I'm not a PHP developer. I know enough to find my way around it. I've read one book on PHP development. I'm not a marketing guru at all. There's some speakers that's going to be later in the day. My suggestion is connect with them if marketing is your thing. And lastly, I'm not a graphic designer. I know Photoshop and I know Fireworks and I can edit some photos, but it's not a skill that I'd rent out professionally. What I am, however, if I needed to apply for a job in Cape Town tomorrow, my job title would be a front-end developer. Now, for those guys that don't know what front-end development is, it's basically a really niche area where you know the basics of web design, HTML, CSS, and jQuery really well. So you know that, at least. Last thing, because I'm a business owner, I'm a chaser of passive income. I love waking up in the morning, getting emails saying, oh, you've made this sale, you've made that sale, that's how your account stats look. I want to sleep and make money. That's me. I love it. Make as much money for as little work as possible. Guys, obviously you didn't come here to listen to my background and who I am. We're talking about how to hijack a theme market. Now, before we get to the topic of actually hijacking a theme market, I need to illustrate the problems that we've got with the premium theme market as it is now for newbie theme shops. So it's typically your one-man band theme shops that now want to compete on the global scale. First and foremost, it's a very, very crowded place to be in at the moment. You've got 1,001 theme shops specializing in each and every niche industry, and to make matters worse, they've got a following. For you to get into that, you're going to have to be right up there in terms of your skill, your support infrastructure, and almost, I would say, renting or hiring skill to help you out. As I said, with the skills, you're looking at being a top-notch PHP developer. You need to have some really ninja skills in terms of design, and then your support infrastructure needs to be rather top-notch as well. You'll hear me talk about support quite a bit through my talk. It's a thread that follows through all the way, touching it as we go along. The last point here, you'll notice getting feed to your website. The issue for you as a newbie or a startup theme shop is getting people on your website. These other theme shops, they've been around for 2, 3, 4 years. They've got a loyal following. Woo Themes over there, they'll release a theme. In a week's time, it goes viral almost, and everybody's got it. So for you'll be competing with them and kind of getting the same amount of traffic, and in other words, sales, is a tall order. Right, so I experienced this about 2 years as well. I mean, these are the guys that I'm competing with. And I had to think about a solution. And for me, I hijacked a theme shop. Now, by no means am I advocating any sorts of violence. I don't want you guys going around to Woo Themes or Obox or any of the other theme shops around the corner, shooting dead at a bunch of their developers and saying, hey, I'm here. Please don't do that. For me, hijacking a theme shop means building child themes and plugins. That is what I do. I'm a premium child theme developer. And effectively what I'm doing, I'm using the support infrastructure and the parent theme shop's themes in itself to leverage my own products. Right, so I know there's a lot of jargon going around at the moment. You might not actually know what a child theme is. Before I get into the actual job of hijacking a theme shop, I just want to touch base with the guys in the audience that doesn't know what a theme shop is, a child theme is. So if you've got a WordPress, or if you're looking at child themes, there's like a hierarchy of the whole WordPress thing. You can think of it as a bit of a triangle. At the bottom, you've got your server, and those are the guys like Hetzner. You host your stuff. We're not going to get involved with that. On top of your server sits your platform. So that's like WordPress, and everyone in the audience should at least know what WordPress is. On top of WordPress, you've got your theme. So that's the look and feel of your website. Now, for the majority of you guys out there, that's about the extent of your WordPress knowledge. You don't need to go any further. That's fine. There's no issues with that. However, if you start getting into customizing that theme, either for a client or for yourself, or it doesn't really matter, but if you want to customize that theme, you're getting into the realm of child themes. Now, there's a lot of ways to customize, a theme. One of it is child theme. There's core mods, you're modding the parent theme, or there's theme settings. For me, I chose a child theme option and developing premium child themes because of my skills. I'm not a PHP developer, I'm not a guru marketing guy, and I'm definitely not a hardcore graphic designer. So for me, child themes was a natural fit because I'm a front-end developer. Something for the technical guys out there, my opinion should be with child themes, is it should only change the look and feel of the parent theme. And the reason I'm saying that is, if you've got a client and they buy the theme shop theme, and they buy your child theme, and something breaks. They click a button or they install it and it doesn't quite work. Suddenly that guy doesn't know who to go to for support. So does he go to the theme shop? Does he go to the child theme? Don't really know. And the more functionality you add to your child theme, the more support you're going to have to give it. So that's my opinion. If you want to add functionality, rather go the plugin route. Guys, if there's still guys out there that still doesn't know what a child theme is, what I've done, I've put on 2 examples, I believe, of premium products that I've got out there at the moment. Now, I'm not promoting my own stuff. I just want to give you examples of what I did and what I'm currently doing. The first theme shop theme that I took was from a company called App Themes. They've got a theme on there called ClassyPress. Now, ClassyPress is like Gumtree on WordPress. Effectively, if you want to run a classifieds website or a classifieds estate kind of website, ClassyPress would be one of the options you'd consider. So if you bought ClassyPress from App Themes right now, this is what it looked like. This is the top of their homepage. It came out about 3 years ago, and they haven't updated the look and feel of it since. It's got tremendous functionality, but in my opinion, the design is a bit dated. So what I did, I took this and I built a child theme, and this is my rendition of that same page. You'll see the same core elements going throughout. You've got your slide over here, you've got your search bar, all of that. It's just a much more modern look and feel to a theme shop theme. Next slide. This is further down the home page. We've got some hover styles over here using CSS3 kind of effects, that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's one of the products that I buy. So you'd see ClassyPress, you take my product, install it on top, and it automatically converts the ClassyPress theme into something looking like this. Next up is another theme by App Themes, this one called Job Roller. It's running a job listings website, ideal for recruitment agencies. It's got resume listing, resume management, job listing, job management, job packs, that sort of thing. So if you bought Job Roller now, this is what it'll look like out of the box. They've got some color variation, so you can change the top part into red or green or that sort of thing. But this is the bog standard that you'll get from app themes. Now the next slide is, this is my product. This is my rendition of the job roller theme. So what I did is I took their theme, their functionality, I built this on top of it to basically transform the whole job roller site to look like this. The next slide is Eva, which is again based on job roller, and this time you'll see the big slider making its entrance, which was brand new. Nobody else had done it up to that point. Okay, so now that you've seen some examples, I think it's time to get into the real gist of my talk is, if this is something that you'd like to do, how do you actually go about to do it? So I've drawn up some notes, hijacking 101 for the guys that did not grow up in the hijacking crime spots of our country. Before you even start hijacking, there's some checkboxes that you need to tick. It's tools, skills, and knowledge. Like a plumber with his wrench, like a carpenter with his hammer, you're going to need some tools to get this job done. Before we get to the tools, however, you need to know how to use those tools. So basically, you need absolute basic understanding of PHP. So as I said, I've read one book on it, and it's been enough. Second to that, I've read some WordPress books, just to familiarize myself with how themes are put together. So if I say single, index, header, footer, sidebar, that sort of stuff, you need to know how a theme fits into making a product. Next up, if you're doing child themes, HTML, CSS, and jQuery, typical for any front-end developer, that is the skills that you need, obviously, to make a child theme. Tools, I think this, for the developers amongst us, that's fairly standard. Your text editor, that's stuff like Dreamweaver. It's what you use to code a theme. A graphic design thingamabob, and that varies between designers. So that'll be like your Photoshop or your GIMP or your Pixlr, that sort of stuff. And lastly, under tools, a website. It's great you've got this fantastic looking product, but if you haven't actually got a website to showcase it, it's kind of pointless. Knowledge, and this is ongoing. It's not, oh, I've got the knowledge now and it's set and forget. It's an ongoing thing. If WordPress releases a new version, you kind of need to know what is in that new version. Otherwise, it might break stuff in your child theme, so you need to know what's going on there. Secondly, if you're in the child theme market, you need to know what is happening with the tier 1 theme shops, as I'd like to call them. Those are app themes, it's Woo themes, it's Genesis, those kind of guys. You need to know what are they doing and how can I leverage what they're doing to support my own products. Okay, first lesson, that was the first lesson of hijacking. Second, how to pick a theme shop to target. What I did when I started out, I chose app themes because at the time they had rather poor theme design. They had great functionality, but it didn't look good, and their support wasn't up to scratch. Those were a few years ago. They've obviously significantly improved on those areas. Poor theme design, poor theme functions, and poor theme support. That provides a gateway for premium child themers to get a foot in the door. Other stuff that I usually use to look for theme shops that I can hijack is unanswered user requests. That's like a fancy way of saying, what do users want? A lot of these theme shops, they've got pages where they ask users what features, what functionality, what designs would you like us to design? Now what I do, I go onto those pages and I glean from that. I say, a lot of people are looking for this kind of functionality or that kind of look and feel. And that's what I take, I develop it, and then I resell it to those guys that's obviously looking for it before the theme shop can act on it. Other stuff to look into, I just realized the design is a bit messed up. The last three should be under this heading or this bracket over there. The other stuff that I look for is an active user base. There's no point in you marketing your product to a theme shop that's only got 10 users. You're never going to make enough sales. So keep in mind the theme shop size that you're trying to hijack. I know with Themes and Elegant Themes, they publish their user count, and from that you can see, is there enough users that will actually use my products. Next lesson, executing your plan. And this is, I hate to say it, but you've got to do the legwork. At some point, you're going to have to take your bum, put it on a seat, and do some coding. And I'm not saying using WYSIWYG editors. If you don't know what a WYSIWYG editor is, that's fine, don't worry. It's fancy jargon. Developers amongst us will know. It's hand coding. You need to know how to hand code a theme. I know there's a lot of stuff on there. It's typically tips and techniques for developing a child theme. Keep things modern. Spice up the core features of the theme that you're trying to hack, and the theme shop by that as well. After you've done this theme, obviously it takes anywhere from 3 to 4 days up to 3 weeks, depending on the complexity of your theme. After that comes testing, a very, very crucial part for me. The guys that you're typically looking for when testing are guys with field experience. You don't want some guy off in the street saying, oh, click a few buttons. You want the guy that is actually using the parent theme in the wild, because they will be able to give you a realistic expectation, or a realistic indication rather, of how your child theme will perform in the wild. Guys, remember when getting testing guys to test the stuff for you, have a bug logging system in place. You can do it by email, it's fine. It's not really ideal. Keeping track of all the bug logs becomes tedious. And lastly, remember to reward these guys. If you don't, there's nothing kind of stopping them taking your stuff, ripping it off, and putting it on another marketplace. So keep that in mind. Right, guys, so you've got the tools, you've got the knowledge, you've executed your plan. Now what? You need to make some money off of this, getting cash for your stash. First up, you have to have a demo website. There's no point in emailing all your friends and all your contacts and everyone saying, you've got this fantastic product, but there's no way for them to see it. So get a demo going of that. It's quite important. And as a side tip, put Google Analytics on it just so you can see how users interact with your website. Next up, product screenshots. With demo setup, I count that to be about 70% of the sale. I know some marketing guys might differ with me, but that's my experience. Product screenshots, on the other hand, I would say 10 to 15%. And the reason I include that is a lot of the time you'll find you've got a client that is trying to resell your product to one of their clients. And they want to give a screenshot rather than a demo, because some of the time your demo will be on your domain name. So you'll have demo.tinygiantstudios.co.uk, and they don't really want to have a client access that information directly, so they just send on screenshots. So be aware of that. I definitely include that in my marketing bundle. Get a marketplace. That's almost the most crucial bit of this. You've got everything else, but if you haven't got a place to sell it, how are you going to make money? For us, for the last 2 years, we sold our products directly through our website. There are other alternatives available, like an official marketplace, and I'm getting to that in another slide. Official marketplace is a marketplace that's hosted by the theme shop itself. So WooThemes has got one for WooCommerce, AppThemes is about to release theirs, and I believe Genesis has got one for child themes specifically. Other ones to consider is a third-party marketplace. That's a place like ThemeForest, where it's theme shop agnostic. You just put your stuff on there and you sell it. Lastly, marketing. There's a few other guys, or speakers rather, that's going to talk later in the day that's marketing experts. For us, what we did in terms of marketing our own themes, I'm not a marketing expert, so what I did, I went onto the App Themes forum and I started answering support requests. Obviously, I'm not at that stage, I wasn't an App Themes member or team member. I was just someone from the community wanting to answer some support threads. And at the bottom of each answer that I gave was a link back to my product. So effectively what I'd be doing, you've got a problem with Job Roller, okay, click this, do this, that sort of stuff. At the bottom of my answer, There's a link back saying your website or your job roller theme could look like this, and it's selling for X amount of money. So that's what I did. There are some other alternatives available. You've got your social media stuff, you've got your newsletter stuff. You can ask for official recommendation from the Themeshop themselves, send out a tweet about this product that they've seen. But for us, we went the answering support forum threads way. Guys, advanced hijacking, and I'm sure that after-sales support for a hijacker, it doesn't really rank up there, but in terms of child theming, it's very important. And the reason I'm saying this is it affects future sales. If you build a decent product, not a good one, just, it's a decent product, but you don't actually support that product, no matter how many products you build after that, and no matter how fantastic they are, if you didn't support that first product, nobody's going to buy your fantastic products. So from the beginning, you need to have a support system in place. If it's email, fine. If it's a support forum, fine. If it's ticketing based, fine. Just have that in your mind that you need to set this up before pursuing your career as a professional theme shop hijacker. Wow, I should put that on my business card. Right. Lastly, in terms of advanced hijacking, is making it legit. And I'm approaching this from both sides of the coin, from a hijacker, like a premium child themer like myself, and also from a theme shop perspective and how to make this a win-win situation. For the hijackers or child theme developers, what that means for your product is that it gets a theme shop backing. Once you get your product on a marketplace that's being run by the theme shop, chances are that your products would have gone through their testing. So in effect, they are advocating your product, saying, good job, you can buy this because it's gone through our internal testing team, that's fine. Next up, it reduces your support infrastructure. Again, if you're selling your stuff through a theme shop marketplace, you will most likely use their support infrastructure to support your own products, either in the form of a support thread or having access to their ticketing service, but it reduces the requirements that you need to have up front. Also, usually, it means more business for you in terms of customization. You'd have your WordPress theme, your child theme, and if a client comes around saying, oh, this is fantastic, but I actually want this color to be green or yellow or neon pink, they'd come to you because you developed that child theme and you'd be first in line to make further modifications. If that's the business that you're in, there's a possibility for you for future business on that. The biggest downside for hijackers going legit or selling their stuff through the theme shop marketplace is a revenue split. No two ways about it, you're going to lose out some money. The gain that you're going to get is much, much more exposure to your products. Because suddenly, where you used to sell on your own website with 100 hits a day, now you're selling on a theme shop marketplace with thousands or hundreds of thousands of hits per day. So your exposure is far greater. From the hijack keys or the theme shop perspective, it's also a win-win situation because you've got an expanded product offering. Effectively, you're selling stuff on your marketplace that you didn't have to develop, you didn't have to spend resources in, none of that. You've got passive income, obviously. Child themes are selling, you didn't do anything, you get some cash from it, basically for running a website, great. And lastly, it's a great employee screener. The guys that's selling on the theme shop marketplace, if you want to hire them, you know that one, they've got commitment because they had to put in some hard graft to develop that child theme. And secondly, you know that they know your product because it's used in their child theme. Guys, from my own experience, obviously hijacking, I do it as a career in a sense. My own experience with app themes specifically, I chose them, as I said earlier. My first premium child theme came out in early 2011. I've got 8 products at the moment on there. My initial marketing, as I said, went through the forum-based answering ticketing question or answering support questions rather. And to be frank, as I said earlier in Hijacking 101, the knowledge that you have on the theme shop. That's what I did. I was an absolute app theme stalker. I read everything from their blog posts, their tweets, their Facebook posts, everything, just so that I know what's happening in their company before I even built any of their child themes. I joined the marketplace after running my own shop on my own website for 2 years. 2 months ago, I joined the official marketplace, which is about to launch a big hoo-ha, and it's, I think, later this week, early next week. So now I'm selling on a marketplace, which is what I've advocated in the advanced hijacking. And then coming back to the point of an employee screener for the theme shops. 3 months ago, I was approached by App Themes themselves with the idea of me joining them as a front-end developer. So the bonus for me at that moment is I've got inside knowledge into what is happening in the company. I know what themes are coming. And on the side, I can also develop child themes with that. And the reason I'm still doing it is because of passive income. I get to live in a beautiful country while living in rands and earning in dollars, which for me, it's a fantastic place to be in. And yeah, that concludes my talks. I don't know if you guys got any questions. Ashley, I don't know if we've got time for questions. It's open to the floor. Cool.
Questions, anyone? Nope. Going. Okay, one
in the
middle.
middle.
There we go.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I just had a question about what methods do you use to reward your testers, firstly? And secondly, what performance considerations do you take building in a child theme?
Performance considerations in terms of what, speed, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just in terms of bolting on a child theme to a standard theme, how does that work into your testing of, you're optimizing your code and so forth?
Cool. So the first question is, how do I choose my testers? Am I right? That's the right one, yeah? Oh, sorry, how do I reward them? What I do is, instead of a cash reward, I give them like a development bundle, for lack of a better word. So if they test my stuff, I give them access to all of my previous stuff. That's past, present, and future, just kind of for them to feel included in the whole process. So they get free copies, and they get all the color variations, everything that I've got, I give to them, basically, for them to use in a multi-site license, if you want to call them. They can use it on as many. I'm not going to restrict them on that. In terms of optimizing and performance things to think about when doing child themes, my very, very first child theme, which was Prima, you saw it up here, the first version of that, I basically took the theme, made a child theme of it, and I customized every single page used by the main theme. Now, starting out, I didn't know any better, that's what I did. With hindsight, it was the worst thing to do. And the reason why I said that, if you do that, and the main theme gets updated, suddenly your child theme doesn't work anymore. Now I need to go through all of that and redo it. So since I've learned that lesson, what I've done, pretty much stick to CSS changes only. I add a few images here and there, but in total, if I can get away with 10 to 15 files for a child theme, that's what I do. Optimized, in terms of speed, I leave that to plugins because I don't want to get involved with advanced functionality that's just going to bog down my support resources. So as I said, my change that I make is pretty much just CSS related, and if I want to spice up things with animation or advanced stuff that's not supported by all the browsers in terms of CSS3, I usually use jQuery just to pop it in there. Does that answer your question? Cool.
Just wanted to say thanks a lot. Great talk. I hope that you all benefited from that.